effects. This has been achieved through the construction of disaster risk management centers, fire stations, construction of stormwater drainages to help address flooding. I wish to leave it at that for now. Further details on the progress of the implementation of these resolutions can be found on our Marifa Center online platform, www.marifa.co.ke. The Council of Governors takes this early opportunity to thank all stakeholders who have contributed towards the successful implementation of the recommendation of the 2021 communique. In the same breath, allow me to sincerely thank the County Government of Uasin and all partners who have supported this conference financially and with technical expertise. I wish us all fruitful deliberations across the main plenums and breakaway sessions and an exceptional learning experience. Your Excellency, the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, your invitation here today to be a chief guest is in recognition also of the fact that you have really been at the center of fighting for a new constitution in Kenya, which constitution enabled us to have devolution. We don't take for granted the effort and the struggles that you have taken in your political life to get us as a country to where we are, and we will always and forever appreciate that as a country. I thank you all.
Another round of applause for our Vice Chair. The steering committee, we really want to appreciate. Can we have all the steering committee members to stand? Just be upstanding for us to appreciate. The steering committee members that were led by the Vice Chair. The steering committee members. Let us appreciate them. Let's appreciate them. Thank you so much for a wonderful conference that you have organized. And we also want to thank Uasin Gishu County Government for the same. Asanteni sana. You can have your seats. Your Excellency, former Prime Minister, as part of the activities running towards this devolution conference, we had a children's devolution conference. This was done, or this happened in Kiambu County in the month of, was it July? In the month of July. And therefore, out of the deliberations of the children's conference, we have the presentation of the resolutions of the children's conference. And I want to invite Grace Nabiswa to come and make the presentations on behalf. Let's appreciate Grace as she comes. So we had a wonderful, and we want to thank Kiambu County Government, led by Governor Kimani Wamatangi, for a wonderful support that you gave the Children's Devolution Conference. Grace Nabiswa, the floor with your colleague, the floor is yours for you to give us the resolutions. Karibu.
Yes, the Right Honorable former Prime Minister, Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, Excellency Governors, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Grace Nabiswa Nafula from Moi Girls High School, Eldoret. I am the school captain there. I am also the Deputy Governor for the Children Devolution Conference 2023. And besides me is my governor and the children's governor for the Devolution Conference 2023 from Kedoa Special School for the Deaf. Yes. So we are here to present the children's communique for the Devolution Conference 2023. We, the children drawn from 47 counties, gathered for the Children's Devolution Conference 2023 from the 3rd to the 7th July at M-Pesa Foundation Academy in Kiambu. More united than ever in our determination to have our voices heard in the leadership and governance of the country and set the course for a better future for all children in Kenya. Appreciating the efforts of the national government and county government in improving the lives and ensuring we enjoy our rights as stated in the Constitution of Kenya and other international laws and statuses, in particular the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, UNCRC. Recalling all previous children's devolution conferences and pronouncements in relation to children's issues, as well as the vision of the Children Act 2022. Noting the need for government and non-governmental stakeholders to make progress to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education, including vocational education and promoting lifelong learning opportunities for all resilient, just, and prospering societies. Deeply concerned by the alarming cases of harmful cultural practices and teenage pregnancies leading to the dropping out of young girls from school. Firmly denouncing all forms of violence against children, be they physical, emotional, sexual, economical, social, cultural, or otherwise. Stressing the need for a robust multi-stakeholder engagement on the implementation of child protection strategies for sustainable development agenda in the country. This will include consolidating efforts, resources, and mainstreaming of child protection agenda in national and county development plans. Accordingly, we call upon both the national government and county governments to take the following concrete steps. On devolution and children's rights, review all laws and policy to ensure universal access to children's rights, leaving no one behind, especially teenage girls who fall pregnant while in school. Establish a Children's Council of Governors comprising of children governors for each of the 47 counties. Provide professional counselors in every school to ensure mental well-being of both the learners and the teachers. Additionally, provide medical cover for the learners in primary schools as it is in the case for learners in secondary schools. Review the Public Finance Management Act 2012, Section 137. 1, to provide for children's representation in the County Budget and Economic Forum, CBEF. Replicate the school feeding programs in Mombasa and Nairobi across all counties to ensure access to school by all the learners. Ensure advocacy on safety and security of children living in conflict-prone settings so that they enjoy their rights such as access to safe and quality education and healthcare services. Guarantee access to justice for all children and expedition of cases in the justice system involving children. We further call upon justice actors to ensure strengthening of accountability mechanisms to bring perpetrators of violence against children to justice. On child participation in governance, sensitize and popularize the Kenya's Children Assembly as a platform of airing and sharing children's views. Organize sensitization forums for the children on the Children's Act 2020 so that we can understand our rights and obligations. Engage children in charitable children's institutions before the next Children Devolution Conference and share a plan on where children with no families will be placed. On inclusivity for all children, through the relevant ministries, develop legal framework to obligate governments to provide accessible infrastructure and services to ensure friendliness of facilities and services to children with disabilities. Provide essential personalized services and up-to-date equipment and materials for the learners with disabilities to realize their right to education. This includes, but not limited to, talking calculators, braille machines, walking sticks, wheelchairs, among others. On talent development, devolved the Talanta Hela program to all counties to support talent development. Further, the national government to provide equipment and facilities for children talent development at the local level. Inclusion of all children in the talent development programs by the private sector institutions such as Women in Technology program and the Chapandimba. On environment and climate change, we reiterate our commitment to protecting the environment and call upon everyone to take personal responsibility in the mitigation of the effects of climate change. We call upon the national and the county governments to involve children and invest in renewable energies, green and blue economies, as well as other modern energy technologies such as electric vehicles and bicycles. We commit as children to contribute to the national campaign on growing 15 billion trees during our time in and out of school. Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development and other relevant stakeholders to develop a strategy on integration of climate change education into the curriculum. We remain committed and recognize the need for conveying a unified message from children of Kenya to our leaders, because there is nothing for us without us. We reiterate that representatives of children should be regularly invited to participate and share their experiences in all gatherings concerning children and their needs. We further urge the relevant ministry to develop guidelines for the regular participation of children in such forums. Finally, we appreciate the Council of Governors and other organizers for the Children Devolution Conference 2023. We strongly call upon all relevant stakeholders to come together and develop an implementation plan on the above recommendations and present a report of the same during the next Children's Devolution Conference, endorsed by the Children of Kenya on the 6th of July 2023. Signed on behalf of the children by Abel Kwoba Odwori, Governor, Children Devolution Conference 2023, Grace Nabiswa, Deputy Governor, Children Devolution Conference 2023. Received on behalf of the national government by Dr. Belio Kipsang, CBS Principal Secretary, State Department of Basic Education, Ministry of Education, and His Excellency Mutahi Kahiga, EGH, Governor, Nyeri County Education Committee, Councils of Governors. I now hand over the communique to the Chair of the Council of Governors, Her Excellency Anne Waiguru.
Let's appreciate the Governor and the Deputy Governor of the Children's Devolution Conference as they present a round of applause again. Those who can be able to do it by sign language. Thank you very much. Another round of applause. Let them have the opportunity to shake the hand of the chief guest. That was indeed amazing. And Safaricom, we want to really, in a very special way, appreciate the sponsorship. You sponsored the entire Children's Devolution Conference. We are very grateful. Asanteni sana. The remaining speeches are going to be very, very brief because we are running out of time and we want our chief guest to have adequate time to address us. Next on stage, remarks by the Senate Minority Leader, Senator Justice Retired Stewart Madzayo to come and make his remarks. Karibu sana, Senator Madzayo.
The Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga, Cabinet Secretaries, His Excellency the Governors, my principals, colleagues of the Senate, all protocol observed, ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to be here today to meet and interact with you, honorable members, as we discuss our adequate financing for county governments for efficient services delivery. This meeting is very important as it accords us the opportunity to reflect on the devolution story, having walked the devolution journey for the last 10 years. And I'm glad to be part and parcel of that journey since it started 10 years ago. Let me confess that I'm happy to have the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga present as the Chief of Guests today. We know he's the main force behind devolution. Indeed, he is the father of devolution. We owe him a great deal for advocating tirelessly despite facing pushbacks along the way. Last 10 years of devolution have had their fair share of successes and challenges. I'm, however, concerned by the low rate of absorption of these funds to develop for development purposes. We are all called as leaders to do a better job for our people. And this must, at all times, be our guiding philosophy. We should spend the entire allocation on development positively, contribute towards the country's growth and service delivery. Although devolution has brought some success in bringing government closer to Kenyan citizens and advancing development, evidence shows that corruption is a major challenge affecting most county governments. It is indeed my humble appeal that we should expose corruption and fight it out. In conclusion, I want to emphasize that the spirit of devolution in Kenya is not about two levels of competing, but complementing each other for efficient and effective service delivery to the citizens. I urge my colleagues at the Senate not to abrogate their oversight duty in holding the county governments accountable. I thank you.
Another round of applause for Minority Leader, Senator Madzayo. Next, remarks by National Assembly Majority Leader, Honorable Kimani Ichung'wah, and on his behalf, the remarks will be made by the Deputy Majority Leader, Owen Baya. Tumpigie makofi tafadhali.
The Right Honorable Raila Odinga, distinguished guests, excellent governors, county officials, fellow citizens, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. As we gather here today to commemorate a decade of devolution, under the theme 10 years of devolution, the present and the future, driving transformation from the local level, we stand at a critical juncture in our nation's journey. Devolution has been a cornerstone of our efforts to bring governance closer to the people, empower our counties, and catalyze economic growth from the grassroots up, that is, bottom up. It has enabled the circulation of resources and funds at the local level, leading to improved infrastructure, enhanced livelihoods, and the realization of a brighter future for all Kenyans. Ladies and gentlemen, this conference takes place at a pivotal moment as we gather here today. For the first time in 10 years of devolution, the national government has disbursed all funds due to counties before the closure of the financial year. This speaks volumes of the commitment of the national government to the growth and development of our counties. With this significant stride, county governors are now better equipped than ever to deliver essential services to the people of Kenya. This achievement underscores the national government's dedication to the welfare of all Kenyans and sets the stage for tangible progress at the grassroots. However, this is also a moment that demands greater accountability and transparency from our county leaders. It is imperative that county governors understand that this moment is not an opportunity for mismanagement of public funds or personal enrichment. It is a moment to channel resources towards the development of our regions and the empowerment of our citizens. This is not a time for the construction of opulent mansions or the establishment of personal fiefdoms. Instead, it is a time for governors to uphold the trust that the people have placed in them, to prioritize the needs of their constituents, and to serve with integrity and purpose. Ladies and gentlemen and fellow delegates, while the national government has shown its commitment to empowering counties, we must also address the need for a balanced system of checks and balances at the local level. Just as our national parliament operates independently from the executive branch with its own budget, it is time to extend a similar level of independence to our county assemblies. The initiative to grant county assemblies financial autonomy is a vital step towards strengthening their oversight role and ensuring that they can fulfill their mandate without fear or favor. By granting county assemblies financial independence, we empower them to exercise their oversight functions in a robust and impartial manner. This independence will enable them to hold the county executives accountable for their actions without succumbing to undue pressure or intimidation. It will also foster an environment where transparent governance thrives, where accountability is upheld, and where the people's interests are truly served. Ladies and gentlemen, even as we celebrate our achievements, we must confront the shadows that dim our progress. It is with a sense of urgency and responsibility that we must address the issues of stalled projects and underutilized county projects. Billions of shillings have been poured into initiatives that should have propelled our counties towards prosperity, only to find that these projects are abandoned, incomplete, or worse yet, vandalized because we have a change of a governor. This is a stark reminder that we cannot rest our laurels. We must take action to rectify these shortcomings. The 2021-2022 audit report by the Auditor General paints a concerning picture. We have seen counties spend significant sums of taxpayers' money on projects that lie dormant, lacking the transformative impact they are designed to deliver. These resources could have been directed towards initiatives that truly uplift the lives of our people and drive holistic development. This situation, ladies and gentlemen, is untenable and calls for a collective effort to reverse the tide of waste and management. Further, the scourge of divisive and personalized politics casts a dark cloud over our development endeavors. The rise of white elephant projects, coupled with the unfortunate practice of abandoning projects due to changing political leadership, serves as a painful reminder of how personal agendas can outweigh the needs of our citizens. We must acknowledge that these actions undermine the very essence of a devolution, the essence that places our counties at the heart of economic growth and empowerment. Let us be clear, it is not about who initiated these projects, but about the impact they can have on the lives of our people. We owe it to ourselves and to future generations to rise above partisan politics and prioritize the common good. It is not bad politics. It is a disservice to our citizens to abandon ongoing projects and embark on new ones that might serve as mere tokens of political ambition. The sight of incomplete projects scattered across our nation serves as a stark reminder of our failure to deliver on our promises. We must find a way to harness the collective energy and expertise of leaders from all corners of the nation. I therefore implore all county leaders to embrace continuity and strive to complete projects that were initiated before their tenure. This is not only an act of fiscal responsibility, but also a demonstration of commitment to our people's welfare. By ensuring that projects we start are seen through to completion, we uphold the true spirit of devolution and ensure that the hard-earned money of our taxpayer is put to its intended use. As we stand at this crossroads, ladies and gentlemen, let us recommit ourselves to the principles of unity, progress, and empowerment. Let us transcend the barriers of political divides and be remembered as leaders who put the needs of our people first. Lastly, let us honor the spirit of devolution by completing projects that have the potential to transform lives, and in doing so, safeguard the vision and integrity of this noble endeavor. Thank you, and may we all work together to realize the full potential of devolution for the betterment of every Kenyan. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Another round of applause for the Deputy Majority Leader. On behalf of Kingi, Speaker of the Senate, we have Senator Veronica Maina, member of the Speaker's panel, to make the remarks on behalf of the Speaker of the Senate. Karibu sana, Senator Veronica Maina.
Thank you very much, Governor Sang. Our chief guest for today, Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, former Prime Minister, Your Excellency Governor Anne Waiguru, Chairperson, Council of Governors, Your Excellency Governor Jonathan B., Host Governor Uasin Gishu County, all senators and members of Parliament present, our Honorable Speaker of National Assembly, all governors present, cabinet secretaries and PSs present, honorable speakers of county assemblies, honorable members of the county assemblies, members of the diplomatic corps, representatives of development partners and agencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Prior to the promulgation of the 2010 Constitution, the state of affairs was characterized by glaring economic imbalance driven by skewed distribution of resources and opportunities. This resulted in the exclusion and marginalization of some parts of the country and undermined our desire to remain one great united nation. The Constitution of Kenya 2010 was therefore the culmination of a long quest for reforms to negotiate the social contract by the Kenyan people. The concept of devolution was among the most prominent features that enticed the majority of Kenyans to back it in the national referendum held that same year. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, there is no doubt, therefore, that the purpose and the ultimate goals of devolution were to spur and accelerate Kenya's socio-economic transformation from the grassroots to ultimately make it competitive at the global stage. In the present political dispensation, this dovetails with the Kenya Kwanza manifesto of the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, Better 2022 to 2027, whose core vision is to uplift the lives of ordinary Kenyans. I am confident that this noble intention will yield great results as county governments play a significant role in their niche as framed by the 5 pillars of our economic transformation agenda, namely agriculture, micro, small and medium enterprises, housing and settlement, healthcare, digital highway, and creative economy. Dear delegates, ladies and gentlemen, as a country, we take pride in the fact that although we face daunting challenges in our 10-year devolution journey, we have countless success stories that should serve to inspire and motivate us to redouble our efforts. Dividends of devolution are now notable and conspicuous, with massive improvements in road networks, infrastructure in our healthcare system, modern stadiums, markets for fresh market produce, and more business and employment opportunities created for Kenyans. While we applaud these commendable achievements, we continue to face a myriad of challenges that have undermined the full potential of our devolved units. Article 175B of the Constitution envisages availability of adequate funds as a key pillar of the endeavor by devolved units to govern themselves and render services to Kenyans. To this extent, it is anticipated that both the national government and county governments would work in concert to establish reliable sources for revenue for the implementation of devolution. However, ladies and gentlemen, as we are all aware, counties have largely, if not completely, relied on exchequer disbursements for their survival. On-source revenue as a financial lifeline for counties still remains a mirage. Yet, it is on-source revenue that promises to guarantee the ultimate financial liberty and autonomy that devolved units so much crave for, and which are all certain would make devolution sustainable. This is the scenario we should now confront and seek to change. We need a paradigm shift in the way we perceive funding models for the counties and the role of on-source revenue in attainment of the goals and objectives of devolution. As the sub-theme of today's engagement in this conference outlines, namely resourcing devolution for service delivery, we must now boldly interrogate the approaches deployed in the last 1 decade in financing our devolved sectors and be ready to embrace new ones that guarantee sustainability and adequacy. The next phase of devolution should accord itself the target of transforming on-source revenue to be the primary artery for county financing and exchequer funding, the secondary one. In my view, this is what should now constitute the crux of deliberations and collaborative engagements between county governments, the national government, and development partners. Undeniably, this will occasion the need to enhance capacity of devolved units, both in terms of available infrastructure and human resource needed to undertake this task. As I conclude, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to reiterate that as the Senate of the Republic of Kenya, we are fully committed to supporting the transformation through necessary legislative interventions and the requisite legal framework. And if I would want to bring this to your attention, Senate Devolution Committee has already recommended some amendments to be moved, recognizing county assemblies forum in law and delivering financial autonomy to county assemblies for better and effective oversight. Amendments are underway Amendments to the Intergovernmental Relations Act and the PMFA Act are underway. And we are glad to hear that through the speech delivered by Majority Leader, that National Assembly will support this initiative. Ladies and gentlemen, we look forward to robust and progressive recommendations from this conference that will help frame and inform our engagements in the devolution space while allowing us to break new ground in the implementation of devolved governance. I thank you all for listening. Thank you.
Another round of applause to Senator Veronica Maina for that wonderful speech. It's now my honor to invite the COG Chair, Governor Anne Waiguru, to come and make her remarks, recognize the invited guest, and invite our chief guest. Karibu sana, Madam Chair.
Our guest, our chief guest today, Your Excellency Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, former Prime Minister, Excellency Governors and Deputy Governors present, members of the Executive, Cabinet Secretaries and Principal Secretaries, representatives of constitutional commissions and independent offices, leaders of Uasin Gishu County and the Great Rift region, ambassadors and high commissioners, members of county assemblies, all national government and county government representatives, private sector and civil society representatives, and development partners, international delegates, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Allow me, before I begin, not to go through the whole recognition that we did yesterday. I think yesterday we already recognized all the participants that are here. Your Excellency, Right Honorable former Prime Minister, there's representatives from the county executives. We have representatives from the county assembly, quite a huge number. We have speakers, deputy governors. We have from the national government, cabinet secretaries and principal secretaries. We also have a diplomatic community also represented in this room, private sector, and many other partners that are with us. So allow me not to go through the individual representation or recognition of the people who are here. We already did that yesterday. We also have most of our governors from the various counties who are here, and we recognized them yesterday by name. Allow me to mention just two that were not recognized yesterday. We have some former governors. We did not recognize them yesterday, so if there's any former governors in the room, kindly stand up just for us to recognize you. Yes, we have the former governors. I would like to recognize two former chairs of the Council of Governors, Governor Wycliffe Oparanya, Governor for Kakamega, former Governor of Kakamega, and Governor Isaac Ruto, also former Governor of Bomet and was also chair of the council. We have former Governor Mwangi wa Iria from Murang'a, who was also former vice chair of the Council of Governors. On behalf of the Council of Governors, I take this opportunity to welcome you, Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, former Prime Minister of the Republic of Kenya, to the Devolution Conference 2023. As a council, we are honored and truly privileged by your presence here this second day of the conference. Your Excellency, Right Honorable, this year our discussions are guided by the theme, 10 years of devolution, the present and the future. And the sub-theme is driving transformation from the local level, county governments as the center of economic development. County governments are now 10 years old. The discourse in this conference will revolve around Kenya's devolution journey since 2013, the ups and downs, the slips and the skips, the challenges and the triumphs. These 3 days in Eldoret are days of reflection. At the close of the conference tomorrow, the co-chairs of the Devolution Conference will read out a communique that will contain practical and measurable resolutions meant to guide the policy, legislative, and administrative environment for the devolved system of governance to operate for the next decade. On behalf of all county governments, we are honored to host the President. We were honored to host the President yesterday and his deputy, who will come tomorrow, and the Right Honorable former Prime Minister, Cabinet Secretaries, the Speakers and Members of Parliament, Ambassadors and High Commissioners, Chief Executive Officers of multinational corporations, and many more distinguished guests. I acknowledge and appreciate that the drafters of the overall program and the breakaway session programs align them to the President's bottom-up economic transformation agenda. The overall plenum sessions focus on performance management for quality and sustainable service delivery, digitalization of services, financing of county governments, good governance practices, and affirmative action. The breakaway sessions sub-themes are carefully crafted around the following sectors: agriculture with a lens on food security, health with a specific focus on primary health care and integration of technology in health services, 3, housing, 4, trade, 5, sustainable natural resource management, 6, blue economy, and 7, youth empowerment. Distinguished guests, in my remarks yesterday, I stated that in this third cycle of devolution and moving forward, we are placing special focus on delivering accessible, available, and quality services to all Kenyans. I'm elated that the first plenum of this entire conference, conducted yesterday morning, paid attention to how county governments can aptly perform management as a tool, can apply performance management as a tool for strengthening effective service delivery. Every step we are making at the county level is geared towards ensuring each Kenyan from all corners of the country experiences socio-economic transformation. I am aware that the reflections of yesterday's breakaway sessions generated meaningful resolutions on strengthening primary health care, provision of housing, positioning counties as trade and investment destinations, and building the blue economy sector for the benefit of local communities. Distinguished guests, one of my highlights from yesterday was the launch of the Devolution book by His Excellency the President. There is a saying, it is not taboo to go back and fetch what you forgot. The teaching here is that it is important to understand our history and learn from it so that we can build a better future. The Devolution book is a publication that seeks to enlighten readers on the history of decentralization in Kenya and the country's transition from a centralized to a devolved system. It aims to help us learn from the past. I request, Right Honorable former Prime Minister, that you secure a copy for your read before you leave. We will be very happy to give it to you as a gift from the Council. I am very happy that the sessions held this morning focused on 2 issues that are dear to us: leveraging on digitalization to spur economic development and financing of county governments. Over the last 10 years, many a time, the issue of resourcing of county functions has made headlines. At this juncture, when our investments are rooted towards building strong and sustainable service delivery systems, county governments will continue to push for adequate financing, and we are becoming innovative in the way we mobilize resources for the county functions. I will mention that for the first time in 10 years, County governments got their full allocation for the year 2022-2023 from the national government before the end of the financial year. We also got, to our surprise, the disbursement for July right on time, and therefore, as we speak, counties have been given resources according to budget requirements on time, and we pray that this will be the trend going forward. I am very happy that the sessions held this morning focused on two issues: leveraging digitalization to spur economic development. And many speakers have mentioned the issue of increasing on-source revenue, and most counties are already implementing this. In the first day, we signed an MOU with Safaricom, on which over 20 counties are already shown an interest to improve their revenue collection. The next 1.5 days is looking exciting. We all anticipate a good discussion in the sector sessions this afternoon. These sessions will focus on food security, pathways to a green economy, youth empowerment, and technology in the health services. Right Honorable ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, let me congratulate all the recipients of Devolution Warrior Awards at yesterday night's gala dinner. I am aware that 2 of my former colleagues received recognition for their commitment and outstanding service to Devolution, and I take this opportunity to thank them for their wonderful contributions to making Devolution work. They were Professor Kivuta Kibwana and former Governor of Makueni and former Chairperson Governor Isaac Ruto, former Governor of Bomet, were awarded as Devolution champions yesterday night. To all the recipients of the awards, continue to be Devolution champions. We appreciate you. And as we continue to implement Devolution, both levels of government need to continue consulting, collaborating, coordinating, and cooperating in the performance of our respective functions as assigned by the Constitution. As the good book says, the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. A lot needs to be done to lift the lives of millions of Kenyans from poverty, significantly reduce unemployment, and keep the country on a path to socio-economic development. Those of us in leadership positions have been entrusted by the people of Kenya with a singular task of delivering the promises embodied in Article 174 of the Constitution of Kenya. I now would like to take this opportunity to invite Your Excellency, the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, former Prime Minister of the Republic of Kenya, to make his keynote address. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you very much. You may be seated. The Chair of the Council of Governors, Governor Anne Waiguru, the Deputy, other governors who are here present today, all protocols observed, ladies and gentlemen, hamjambo. Hamjambo tena. Hey, I feel very, very delighted and intimidated to be in front of you here today. I am happy to come. I was invited to come, and I was reminded that this is the 8th of the summit that we're holding. And I just realized that I have been with you in all the 8 summits that you have held. So I was very happy to come again here today. Now, before I say anything else, I just want to introduce those who have come with me. Two you have already been introduced. Your immediate former chairman, Governor Wycliffe Ambassador Paranya, former Governor Kakamega, and Governor Mwangi Wairia. But I'm also here with the former Minister for Defense, the leader of DNA Party, Honorable Eugene Wamalwa. I'm also here with the chairman of Roots Party, Professor George Wajakoya. Those are Wanazimio who have accompanied me to come here. We are all very delighted. And seeing what is in the media today and also seeing what was said yesterday, I wondered what I should term my talk to you today. I looked at all the messages were given yesterday, and I said, maybe, it's like Swahili say, that nyani haoni kundule. That means that the baboon does not see its back, or its buttocks. So when the baboons are up on the tree, the one which is lower down looks at the one which is higher up and saying, ngef, ngef. And laughs at the other one saying that his buttocks are red. And he does not know that his buttocks are also red. This is what I saw yesterday. And maybe when I talk, you would realize what I mean. It is a pleasure to be here with you today to celebrate a decade of devolution. I want to take this early opportunity to commend the Council of Governors. You have been able to find a way around our sometimes toxic and divisive politics. You have been able to create a leadership that looks past party and political differences and moves you forward as a team. I commend you for your ability to mend fences and build bridges. I want to encourage you to continue on this path of consensus building, mutual respect, and decorum. 10 years into devolution, Kenya is a much transformed landscape with an amazing opportunity for rural economic revival and transformation. There is now economic life in rural areas. Some previously dead towns and market centers are beaming with the life after devolution. The prospect of Kenyans taking charge of their destiny and driving their own development is alive today because of devolution. A new middle class, whose members have not stepped into any major city in Kenya, is rising in the villages across Kenya, thanks to devolution. Devolution's success is a success story. It's a testimony to what we can achieve as a nation when we decide to pursue big dreams, no matter how daunting the obstacles may seem. As a country, we must congratulate ourselves for having endorsed devolution 13 years ago. And we must always remember it was not an easy victory. When we first unveiled devolution as a campaign platform in 2007 election, the proponents, including yours truly, were vilified and accused of planning to break Kenya up. We stood our ground and pushed devolution into every political conversation in Kenya, and we won. I am aware that even today, as you try to imagine and dream how best devolution can deliver more for our people, as you try to test and stretch the limits of devolution, you face skepticism and fears that you may be wrong and that it might destroy your political careers. My advice is that you dream on and soldier on. And I know that anybody who decides to go and run as a governor is himself already convinced that devolution can work. And I encourage you to remember the words of President Franklin Roosevelt. I quote, "The only limit to our realization of tomorrow will be our doubts of today. Let us move forward with a strong and active faith," unquote. Devolution continues to have doubters, but devolution can no longer be a loser without the nation losing. Excellencies, at this forum, I have the warm feeling of a person among friends who think alike and have the same goals and aspirations. As far as devolution goes, my aspirations and those of the governors are aligned. We may have differed here and there about the management of our affairs at both the national and county levels. But when it comes to devolution, I believe our differences are only as to the method of attaining a goal. There has never been, and there shall never be, an argument between us about the goal. We all appreciate devolution. We all want devolution. In some counties, devolution has achieved in 10 years what the national government was never able to achieve in 50 years. We know the challenges facing devolution. For instance, funding remains inadequate and its flow uneven and unpredictable. The controller of budget and central bank need to relook at the law. The County Allocation of Revenue Act, CARA, contains a disbursement schedule. And I was sitting next to the former governor, who is now the Minister for Finance, and I told him exactly the same thing. Therefore, the administrative step of Treasury writing a letter to CBK to release funds should not arise. CBK should implement CARA full stop. Bureaucracy at the Office of the Controller of Budget continues to hold back devolution. There's a worrying clash of vision and responsibility between county chief executives and the members of county assemblies. As the first port of call across the villages, MCAs have real concerns like remuneration and facilitation that ought to be addressed. That ought to be addressed in the interest of harmonious working relationship with the county dream bearers who are the governors. And you see the Nyani Aoni Kundule. Across the 47 counties, the wage bill has become uncontrollable and continues to eat into what should go into the development. Even more worrying is the continuing duplication of functions. More money continues to be spent at Afya House, Kilim House, and Maji House in Nairobi for the roles that are devolved. Yani aone kunduli. In the Finance Act 2023, the budget for health has grown by 32 billion shillings at the national level. Recurrent expenditure alone has increased by 17%, yet most of the health functions are devolved. Today, fertilizers are procured and distributed by the national government. Affordable housing is being conceptualized and implemented by the national government. The government wants to build markets and employ community health workers. All these are devolved functions whose money should be released to the counties. "10 years into devolution, this tug of war between the counties and the national government needs to come to an end. In this tug of war, the Commission of Revenue Allocation continues to be ignored, making revenue sharing between national and county governments and among counties uneven and more political than professional. Nyani haoni kuduli. As we castigate the national government, let us worry over devolved corruption. Oversight seems concentrated at the national level, while the graft stalks devolution at every turn. The interplay between oversight institutions like the county assemblies, Auditor General, the Senate, and the investigative and prosecutorial arms is weak, and the institutions not working together. But I want to say that it's not only that the corruption has been devolved, corruption has also remained very big at the national level. So the national level has no business talking to you about devolved corruption. When assemblies and the Senate inquire into a matter, the best they can do is recommend investigation. When investigators complete their work, the best they can do is to recommend prosecution. And there is, of course, no guarantee that the courts will punish the wrongdoers. Let us address these man-made challenges once and for all, so that we can unleash the full transformative capacities of our counties. We need a constant and consistent monitoring of all laws governing devolution to ensure their implementation and to add statutes whenever they are needed. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we meet at a time our country is facing real grave threats. This is a reality check backed by government data. The economy is struggling. Our national currency is severely weakened. The shilling has fallen by 10% since March this year. Our people have been hit hard by punitive taxes and a consequent rise in the cost of living. We have runaway unemployment. Our healthcare system is broken. We face challenges with food security at a time climate change is turning everything upside down. From farming to healthcare to provision of water and infrastructure, nothing is the same or predictable anymore. Unfortunately for governors, you are stationed where the desperation, the need, and the expectations are highest. That is, at the grassroots, where people want instant solutions. I believe that as a country, we are lucky to be going through these challenges in the era of devolution. I believe that if county governments were not here to absorb some of the shock and act as cushion, the economic and governance challenges Kenya is going through today would have overwhelmed and overrun the national government. To continue providing buffers for our country and respond to the cries of the people, Counties need a tremendous amount of financial resources in a timely and predictable manner. The national government, therefore, needs to understand and appreciate counties as necessary partners in the journey for a successful Kenya. The problems and responsibilities the people and the counties face today demand that we reevaluate and strengthen our commitment to preserve the place of the county government and bestow it with the power, the authority, the responsibilities, and the revenues necessary to discharge those roles and meet expectations. In times like these, county government may be tempted to do what the national government is doing, which is to increase charges for services they provide to generate more revenue. And I was listening to the talk about its own revenue. I see it differently. I believe this is the time for county government to act compassionately and responsibly. The problems our people face today require that we invest within our means in programs that create jobs and put money into the people's pockets. Counties don't have to copy and paste what the national government is doing. I encourage you to be own models for innovation and creativity. Rather than extract more from the pockets of equally suffering masses, I encourage you to continue to provide communities and families with the tools they need to succeed so that they can, in return, finance counties without too much pain. Being on the ground, governors have no time to get into a lot of ideological debates that consume our politics in Nairobi. Counties should have no time for merely making commitments and announcements. Governors have to be practical. You will do well and set examples when you back up your pronouncements with concrete action at the level of policy and practice. I believe that the work that you do, if done well, will with time have a concrete impact on the debate at the national level. This is the time to provide record amounts of assistance to our farmers to enable them save us from the routines of famine, food imports, and food inflation. This is the time for financial inclusion programs and ensure the money reaches the intended recipients. This is the time to work on turning your towns into smart cities of tomorrow, equipped with world-class amenities. I encourage you to soldier on and double your efforts at light manufacturing and value addition as a way of generating revenue and putting money into people's pockets. With focus, you should be able to set up world-class investment and industrial regions along dedicated corridors of your counties to aid manufacturing. I want to encourage you to particularly promote labor-intensive manufacturing because it puts money into the people's pockets. And I'm talking to you as a manufacturing engineer. Put focus on building infrastructure, including roads, electricity, and water and farm irrigation. This will yield returns. We have to ensure that our policies are predictable and tax regimes stable. Ease of doing business in your counties must therefore be a prime concern. Investors need the assurance that the rules of engagement are the easiest that can be. Remove bureaucracy. With such clarity, you will be able to create employment opportunities, encourage enterprise, and to create a bigger job market for our youth, widening your base for revenue. I believe it is time, again within your means, to allocate some of the money from own revenue to a cash transfer program to help protect the poor at the grassroots. I want to encourage you to continue with cooperation between counties. At the same time, however, we need a competitive element among counties to prevent the temptation to just maintain the status quo. Let us compete even as you cooperate. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, I want to disclose to you a reality slowly taking shape in our country, but which many of us, including the governors, may not notice. While national politicians may be getting all the attention, the action of translating policies into improvement of livelihoods is actually being determined by governors, county assemblies, and county governments. I see immense possibility for our county-driven growth and leadership in our country. I see potential for a county-driven quantum leap in our country. This hidden reality is not limited to one section of our region. The potential is unlimited. Be open to ideas, investments, and innovations. You may just be the team that put the country on the path to a reversible takeoff. I want to conclude by referring to what Governor Jonathan B. said, the host governor, that they are expecting bumper harvest in this region because they did mandamanos in the farms instead of doing the mandamanos on the streets, or carrying sufurias. I want to tell him that this katiba that we have is a product of mandamano. And I also want to remind that if mandamano can help families whose children were cheated or money being taken to Finland, there's nothing wrong with mandamano. What is wrong is police brutality. And finally, I want to tell a rogue ambassador, leave Kenyans alone. If Mandamano can lead to a dialogue between Ichungwa and Kalonzo, everything is good with Mandamano. Tell the rogue ambassador, Kenya is not the United States. Kenya is not a colony of the United States. Keep your mouth shut when you hear. Otherwise, you will call for your recall back to your country. I thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Another round of applause, please, for the former Prime Minister, Right Honorable Raila Odinga. Asante sana. Our guests would like now to welcome the chair of the council plus other governors for a photo session. But we're also going to have a gift courtesy of the Council of Governors Steering Committee that organized the Devolution Conference. So this photo is the Right Honorable Prime Minister and the 47 governors, those who are present. The next photo is going to be the Right Honorable Prime Minister and senators present. You've done it. Asanteni sana, asante sana. Oh, Governor Malombo was not caught in the photo. There you go. Asanteni sana. Next up, I'll call the senators who are present. The senators who are present to come for this photo with the Right Honorable former Prime Minister. Asante sana, governors. Thank you very much, governors. Senators, a photo with the senators. A photo with the senators. A photo with the senators. We'll also have a photo with deputy governors present, and another one with members of the National Assembly who are present. Senators, Senator Mugeni, thank you. Thank you very much, senators. Next up, I want to call a photo with the deputy governors, led by the chair of the Deputy Governors Forum. Former Prime Minister Asante Sana, I want to take a photo with the deputy governors present. All the deputy governors present. Photo with the deputy governors present. A quick one, deputy governors, tafadhali. We want to have another one with members of the National Assembly who are here. Asante, asante. Asante sana. The Council of Governors has a gift for you, Right Honorable former Prime Minister. The Devolution Conference Steering Committee and the Council of Governors. Tafadhalini, we have a guest. Excuse me. Former Prime Minister, please come to the stage. Please come to the stage. Mwalimu Bage, please help me. Former Prime Minister, please come to the stage. We have a photo and a gift for you. This is a gift from the Devolution Conference Steering Committee. We have a book on devolution. Governor Anno Iguru, the chair of the Council of Governors, flanked by the vice chair, who's also the chair of the Devolution Steering Committee. And that other present as well. Asante sana. Asante sana. Our chief guest, we thank you very much for joining us. We'll be proceeding to lunch to my right. Ladies and gentlemen, our afternoon session begins in an hour's time after lunch. Lunch is served just like yesterday, delegates to the left and guests who have invitation cards to the right. And then we will be convening for our afternoon session, where we have several breakaway sessions. We have several breakaway sessions, 4 breakaway sessions. One breakaway session will be on agriculture, which will be in room number 3. Room number 1 will be hosting Empowering Youth for Inclusive Economic Growth. Number 2 will be on natural resources. And this main plenary hall will be hosting a breakaway session on health service delivery. Health service delivery will be here. Number 1 will be on youth. Number 2 will be on natural resources. And number 3 will be on agriculture sector. Those are the 3 breakaway sessions. Please go to your session of interest in an hour's time after lunch. Enjoy your lunch, ladies and gentlemen. If you have lost any of your